What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk Hockey here, back with another video, and today we're going to be discussing the Leafs' 3-0 loss to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now, let me get some things out of the way. I'm going to be talking about the referees. I'm going to bunch it all into one part. That will be in this video. Don't you worry, I'm going to talk about the referees. Just wait for that. Also, real quick, people don't like apparently when I wear hats. I didn't know that that was a thing. I haven't been feeling good, you guys know that. Today was not a day where I was like, oh, let me try to at least look presentable. I'm wearing a hoodie and a hat. Sorry, that's just how this video is going to be. So yeah. There was also supposed to be a video that was posted today. That will be posted tomorrow. I went to film it and I didn't realize my battery was dead, so I had to charge it before this game. So luckily I can make this review. Anyways, 3-0 loss to the Pittsburgh Penguins. I will get to the referees, but as always, we always start with some goalie stats. Also, this Tuesday I might be at the Toronto Marlies game, so let me know down below if you will be at the Marlies game this upcoming Tuesday. So, let's get to the goalie stats. So Frederik Andersen versus Matt Murray, both goalies returning from injuries. Andersen was coming back from some knee swelling that he got in the game against Washington, and Matt Murray was coming back from some concussion stuff. So congratulations to both of them for getting healthy. That's number one. I like both these guys, like very, very good that they're back in the crease. Okay, so Matt Murray had 38 shots against, and of course with the shutout he allowed no goals, so he had 38 saves. Very, very good performance from Matt Murray. Like I said, I'm just glad that he's back in there for Pittsburgh. I like him. He's a good guy, two-time Stanley Cup champion. Frederik Andersen, who also had a pretty solid night after coming back from that knee injury. 37 shots against, 1 goal against, which was a soft one, unfortunately. We will get to it, and 36 saves. So, like I mentioned, we will get to the referees, but let's just talk about the game first. So, as you could probably tell at the beginning of the game, the pace was pretty decent, but there wasn't a ton of scoring chances, like high, I guess high velocity, high percentage scoring chances. Pittsburgh is a type of team where if they get you in their style of game, you're finished. I found that Toronto at some points in this game were chasing Pittsburgh, and the breakouts, you could tell, like, it's so different. Pittsburgh is just elite when it comes to, I guess just in this game, I don't know if Penguins fans disagree, but their breakouts just looked very clean, whereas the Leafs were not having very many good breakouts. Their neutral zone game today was not very good. I'm not sure if it was just an off game, because we obviously seen the Leafs dominate throughout this season, but it is early, so they could still fix that up, but it was very bad. Anyways, funny enough, the Leafs take a penalty and it happens to be a too many men call, which is just hilarious. If you guys want to see what I feel about too many men, go on my Twitter account at Andy Piluk, ANDYPILUK, because Pittsburgh got away with a couple tonight. Okay, I'm going to try not to freak out. Anyways, Pittsburgh went on the power play. 6 seconds in, Yevgeny Malkin decides to just throw one at the net, and Frederik Andersen can't cover up his post. It ends up sliding in. Yevgeny Malkin scores his second of the year. That was assisted by Letang and Crosby. Just see Yevgeny Malkin. He finds ways to score, and it was 1-0 Pittsburgh. So, because there was no goals or anything in the second period, let me just mention a couple of things when it regards the referees. Anyways, that first period wasn't really good for the Maple Leafs. I can't remember when Hyman got clipped, but regardless, we're going to talk about it now because there wasn't a ton of scoring, of course, until the third period. So, the refereeing in this game, to say it lightly, was just atrocious. And that's to say it lightly. There's some games where you can see where some teams are getting kind of favored with calls, and it's obviously, well, I'm hoping it's not on purpose. I don't want people coming out and saying the league is fixed. Because, of course, when I get mental and go crazy over games like this, I start thinking stuff is rigged. But I know that I'm just a little hot-headed in the moment, and I can admit that. But, oh boy, the reffing tonight was brutal. So, I posted on Twitter after Zach Hyman got clipped. He got a high stick, he ended up with stitches. That should have been 4 minutes. Somebody said, well, if you watch the replay, Hyman did it to himself, where he lifted the Penguins player's stick. I can't remember who it was. Probably, I think it was Gensel. I can't remember. And he lifted the stick of Pittsburgh's player and it hit him in the face. He was bleeding, whatever. This penalty gets called all the time, regardless of who does it. The refs miss it sometimes. Should it be called like that? Probably not. But usually the refs call it no matter what because they see a stick going in somebody's face. In this in this case, the Leafs didn't get the call. That 4 minutes could have changed the entire game, but it wasn't just that play. And I want to also sit here and be like, oh, okay, well, because the Leafs didn't win, I have to make an excuse. The Leafs had a lot of shots on goal. Were all of them great scoring opportunities? No. Did Matt Murray have a great game? Yes. Did Toronto play their best? No. Did Pittsburgh play pretty good? Yes, they did. Were the referees bad tonight? Yes. Have the referees been bad on both sides in some of these games? Yes, Toronto has gotten away with so many damn things already this season. Every team does. That's how the game works. The referees can't get everything correct. In this game, the refs were wrong. 99% of the time, they were wrong. They were awful. They were terrible. This was an awful, awful game to watch because it was like the Leafs were on pins and needles, whereas Pittsburgh was doing everything they wanted to do in this game. Everything. Have the Leafs had games like that before? Hell yeah, every team in the league has had a game like that. I said that already. But tonight, Pittsburgh got away with bloody murder. They did whatever they wanted to do when it came to interference, tripping, holding. There were so many things that they knew that they could get away with. And the referees were just blind to it. Again, I've posted stuff on Twitter throughout the game. I posted a really bad too many men should have been, if they had touched the puck, of course. But I'll get to that in a second. Regardless, that should have been a power play for the Leafs. There was a couple times where Riley was just getting trashed. I don't understand how there's like... How do I explain this? There was a play in the corner, and I wish I could show clips and stuff, but again, I'll get copyrighted and all this, that, and the other. There was a play in the corner where, I can't remember which Leaf it was. I think it was Per Lindholm. He was in the corner, and he was trying to get out, and the Pittsburgh player was turned, holding onto him, onto the glass, and holding him for like 2 seconds, 2 or 3 more seconds, and then he kind of let him back, but then he kept him, pressing him again for another couple seconds. I'm like, how is that not holding? You're taking a guy out of the play. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Anyways, we'll get back to that in a second. Third period, Yevgeny Malkin scored on an empty netter, his third of the season. Nazem Kadri was actually the one that tipped that into the net. Leading up to that, Morgan Rielly again got tripped. I think it was Hornqvist. Basically tripped him up. His stick was like in between his legs, and then when he went to the bench, his stick was in between Riley's leg again, and Rielly smashed his stick. He was going crazy. The Leafs, I don't understand how the referees didn't see half the stuff that happened tonight. It was just brutal. There's obviously some stuff I'm going to forget as well. Like also at the end there, I was just turning around and leaving because I was at my grandparents'. The puck was in before the whistle was blown or whatever. The referee's blown it dead. I'm not even going to worry about that. It happens all the time. But Mike Babcock was so mad. And like I said, there was another play on Twitter. And also, to finish the game, Chris Letang scored on an empty net, his 4th of the season. Regardless, there was another play where Pittsburgh was hemmed in their own zone. And actually, at this point, I think it was still only 1-0. So again, like that, the Leafs were just pressing them. And the puck, Marner went to spin it out. And yeah, it was only 1-0 at this point. Sorry to backtrack, but there's just was so many mistakes in this game. Marner was trying to throw the puck out. The puck bounced a little bit. It was a bad attempt. And the play got pushed out a little bit. But the Leafs had possession, and Pittsburgh was gassed. So the Leafs swung it to the other side. They got out of the zone as fast as possible and were moving back into the zone. Well, Pittsburgh noticed that. So they got fresh bodies off onto the ice, while their defensemen and forwards that were on the ice for all that time were still getting off, but they were gassed. So they didn't even care at this point. They were just bent over, pretty much coasting to the bench. And I don't care what anybody says. That's too many men. If you have guys that are just chilling on the ice and you get fresh bodies in, like that's not fair to me. You know what? Hold on. I'm going to get a whiteboard. I usually don't do this, but I'm going to get my whiteboard and explain to you guys what I mean. Okay, so I know this is a very awkward position, and I feel awkward doing this. Anyways, I don't really have the space that I needed to, and this was a last-second decision to do this. So, as I was trying to explain, this too many men thing, I don't care what anybody says. This, to me, is too many men when, you know, regardless. So let's just say, and again, I don't have the exact colors for every team. So I'm using orange for Pittsburgh. This is my crappy excuse for a bench blue line and net, okay? It's just quick. So there's Pittsburgh guys all here, whatever. They're all huffing and puffing, trying to get over here to their bench, whatever, right? So Toronto notices that they're tired. They've got the puck out here, okay? So what Toronto does was swing the puck over here, and they were just going to charge in to go in, obviously, for an opportunity, because they're still over here. Like, they're assuming that it's still going to take them a couple seconds to get guys onto the ice. Well, think again. So they're still here. Like, there's like Pittsburgh guys all over here, whatever. They're all over the place. And yet somehow they get guys way over here in a second. Toronto comes in. There's no big opportunity because Pittsburgh does an early freaking change or whatever and gets a billion guys on the ice at once. And I'm telling you, go on my Twitter account. I don't need this anymore. Go on my Twitter account. I have the picture up. Is it still in focus here? I'm sorry, guys. I didn't anticipate using the whiteboard. I have a picture up that shows that it was just, there's just too many guys on the ice, and it was a way too early change. Like, they had too many guys out there. Regardless, the refereeing wasn't the only reason why the Leafs lost tonight. What did it hurt? Yeah, it did, because the Toronto power play is so lethal. That's the reason why I think a lot of people are pissed off, is because when you have a power play that's as good as the Leafs have, and again, this isn't some sort of cocky bragging thing, they're just good. There's a lot of scoring on there. When you have a power play that's as good as that, I mean, when you get an opportunity to get there, the Leafs only had like a minute power play in this game, so it hurts. You're able to get back into games when you have a lethal power play like that. Anyways, just go on my Twitter account if you want to see it, at Andy Piluk, ANDYPILUK. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. Love to have more hockey conversations with you. Join the squad. Let's get to 4,000 subscribers. I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. Click that notification bell. Peace.